everybody, it's Charlie from DM Sound, and today we've got the sound system demo in the 2024 Mercedes-Benz CLE-class and its 17-speaker Burmester 3D surround sound audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at how the infotainment system works, take a look at audio inputs, adjustments, controls, speaker locations, and we're going to test out the 5.1 surround sound capabilities, and then we're going to head out on the road and listen to these sample tracks while we're rolling, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Now, if you don't care about any of that stuff at the beginning and you just want to hear the music, click ahead in the video. We've got chapters to get you right to the tunes. And if you want to hear even more on the system, sign up to become a Daily Motor member. I'm recording a members-only sound test with tracks requested by members just like potentially you. So if you want to see that and support the channel, check the link below. But before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. All new for this year, 2024 model year, the Mercedes-Benz CLE-class. Kind of splitting the difference between the C-Class Coupe and the E-Class Coupe. I've only got it for a few days here, so our coverage is a little bit more limited than usual. No fuel economy testing on this 2-liter turbo mild hybrid option, and no infotainment breakdown, but we've got coverage of similar Mercedes-Benz M-Buck systems, and I will show you how Apple CarPlay and Android Auto look in this one as well, which is something I don't usually do in the sound system reviews. But if you do want to see our quick drive review on this luxury coupe, be sure to check the link below. Now, we always do these tests with lossless, uncompressed WAV files on a USB stick plugged directly into the system, and high-quality Roland binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. We also do the test with the sound settings set to their factory defaults, so let's take a look at those now. The MBUX UI, Mercedes-Benz user interface infotainment system here, takes a little bit of learning to get used to, but I gotta say, it responds really nicely. It's very powerful once you figure out how to use it all. You've got a persistent climate menu down here. Press that home button. You see how quickly things are responding. I mean, this is practically cell phone levels of responsiveness right here. And you cannot say the same thing about most vehicle systems. I mean, look at this around the built-in navigation. As I pinch to zoom out, it goes to more of a 2D view. That's pretty smart. Heading home. Look how quickly I can get right back to my phone projection right there. Coming up. I mean, you could speed run this infotainment system. I've really been quite impressed with it. But if we come here to settings, system, scroll down to audio, that's one way to get to your audio settings. But what I've usually done is, regardless of which screen you're on, say for example I'm just on the main screen here, and I adjust my volume, I get a little gear icon. I can click that, brings me directly to audio settings, and then under entertainment, first you're greeted with sound profiles. And this is one of the coolest things I think Burmester and Mercedes-Benz have been doing in their newer vehicles, is giving you the ability to customize your sound system to your listening preferences. Because admittedly, everybody's ears are different. What I tell you sounds great, and what your friend Joe tells you sounds great, what you think sounds great, and then what the audio engineers tells you sounds great, are all going to be a little different. We can kind of agree upon general classifications. That's why I try to just give general letter grades for the sound systems I evaluate and don't rank them necessarily above and below each other within there, because my opinions could change day to day or vehicle to vehicle, mood to mood, weather. There's so many variable factors. Anyway, what Mercedes does with this personal sound profile is allow you to customize the sound system to what you like best, because the audio engineers have tested and gotten the flat EQ to what they think sounds best, but your ears are different. So you've got pure, that's going to be your just true to recording right here. That's going to be what the audio engineers think sounds best. And then there's surround. And surround adds more of that surround sound effect. And I'm actually going to go back here real quick and back up the song a little bit, because I don't want to quite go to our next one yet. With, again, how quickly we can get around everything. Now we're right back in our media. But the personal sound profile here is going to allow us to customize this. So I'm going to hit the gear icon, or select it first, right here. Personal sound profile. You can create your personal sound profile for your Burmester audio system using this configuration assistant. Let's start. Set your personal comfort volume. Okay, so I guess this would just be for chilling out, maybe? So I can go really low. I'd say a comfortable listening volume for me is probably about, probably about right there. Continue.
I could not find any music data.
Cancel. Should probably turn that off. Anyway. Set the sound which you find to be balanced. Okay, so we're balancing between, it looks like a cello and a violin. Maybe it's a viola. Here's more cello-y. More viola-y. I like a little bit more drive, so I'm going to go down there on B. Set a volume which you find to be low.
I'm sorry, but the volume
Stop, cancel. I'm not saying.
Controlled using voice commands.
All right, we got to turn that off right. Cancel. I'm not saying the wake word, so why is that coming up? Give me a quick second. No, your changes will not be saved. All right, I guess we're just going to have to roll with it. All right, that's the volume I found to be low. Set the sound you find balanced. Okay. Desired volume for the beat, okay? I like a little bit of drive in my music right there. All right. Then you can change, cancel. You can change the result further using sound exploration or continue with the configuration. All right, so we can go between bass, vocal, bright, and intensive. I think I'm probably gonna go about right there. Set the area which sound should come from. Cancel. Preferred bass characteristics: neutral, soft, warm, or punch. I usually like a warm bass. Alright, cancel. Press the button to compare with your previous settings. So this is my personal sound profile, and here's the original, flat EQ. Subtle difference, but again, a little bit more to what I like. And there we go. That's pretty cool. I mean, what other sound system lets you customize it right to your preferences? I think that's smart. And I think Mercedes and Burmester have figured out a way to get it down to a more general audience. I want to get my wife, Alyssa, to try that at some point and see how she feels doing, kind of walking through that tutorial. And now it appears that our USB functionality is currently unavailable. I don't know why. Guess we'll give it an old unplug and replug. And we're back in business. So let's get back to the media adjustments here, or audio adjustments I should say. I'm going to go back to the pure sound profile, since that should be a little bit more universal. And then below that, you do have a more standard bass, mid-range, and treble. So even though Mercedes has given you this more end-user focused customization ability, they haven't gotten rid of the standard bass, mid-range, and treble like some of the other brands have. So let's go through those. That you have adjustment for front, rear, left, right, fader, and balance, and then a sound focus. So you can either focus the sound and optimize it for all 4 seats, or simply the front seats here. I personally have found the front focus to be a little too front-facing and not surround enough. So I play around with it. Theoretically speaking, it should sound best optimized for the front seats, but again, comes down to that personal preference. And that's all we've got for audio adjustments. For audio controls here in the CLE class, you've got a volume slider / clicker right here, and when you do click it, you can use the screen as well. I'm not a big fan of it, mostly because it's hard to fine-tune exactly where you want the volume to go. I guess that's not too bad, but while you're driving, it'd be nicer to have a real physical scroller knob. You've also got a haptic control over here on the steering wheel, it's very similar, and then a little mute button right next to the volume controls. That's good at least. For track selection, No sort of physical track control here necessarily, but this persistent menu in the infotainment screen stays there with track control, so that's good at least. And then same thing in the steering wheel, no persistent control. You actually have to be on the media screen in your gauge cluster and then swipe back and forth on the left side. Audio inputs here in the CLE class. Let's see what we got. We go over to radio. We've got your standard AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio with support for HD radio. If we go back to media, then we've got USB-C ports in there. Cancel. I have not said anything, Mercedes. All right. Now is a good chance for me to turn that off because apparently I can't speak in this car without it thinking I'm trying to talk to it. Okay, we have disabled Hey Mercedes. Now, under media, we've got 2 USB-C ports in there. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, both wired and wireless functionality, although you have to verify the wired, for sure wireless. Bluetooth streaming support, and that is, well, actually that's not it, because Mercedes-Benz is actually giving you here 4 built-in streaming services: Amazon Music, Apple Music, Spotify, and Tidal. Now, you do have to pay for a monthly data subscription in order to get those. I don't know how long the trial is, and I cannot verify what the bit rate is for all of those. I'll ask the Mercedes PR person. I'm not sure if they'll have an answer for me before this video needs to go up, or if they have an answer at all. But I would trust your device being in via phone projection more than these ones. I would hope that Mercedes cares about audio enough, which I think they do, to have high bitrate streaming in those, but I can't guarantee you that it's uncompressed. Okay, so that is it for inputs. What does that mean you're missing? There's no 3.5mm auxiliary input jack. Oh wow, there's 2 more USB-Cs in there, though. 4 USB-C data ports. No USB-A's, so make sure you have an adapter. And that's about it. I mean, no disc player, but we're not expecting that here for a new model in 2024. I should take this opportunity to point out, if you opt for the Pinnacle trim of this car, you can get Dolby Atmos surround sound support, but you don't get it as standard. You do get this 17-speaker Burmester standard, which I think is quite good for a starting price around $57,000, $58,000, because the sound system, spoiler alert, is very, very good. But you don't get the Atmos without paying a little bit more. That's okay for me. Most music is not supported in Dolby Atmos, but just something to make note of. Speaker locations. As I said, this is a 17-speaker system. Starting in the bottom left, you've got subwoofers down in the firewall by your feet, making 1, mid-range 2, tweeter 3, 4 center speaker, 5, 6, 7 over on the other side. Then coming into the back, you've got 8, 9, 10, 11 mid-range tweeter, 12, 13 parcel shelf surround sound speakers there. And then this is kind of fun. We've got 14, 15, 16, 17 speakers right up by the headrest. They're kind of mounted back here. Admittedly, I have not been able to hear much sound coming out of them, but Mercedes says they're in there. So maybe, you know what, maybe with surround sound mode we can hear them out a little more. 1 second. Yeah, there we go. Okay, when you have surround mode on, you're getting these speakers in the seats working, but with it off, you're getting it mostly just up front here. Okay, let's take this opportunity to test out the 5.1 surround sound capabilities of this system using the immersiveaudioalbum.com surround sound demo.
Welcome to the Immersive Audio Album Channel Configuration Test. Left. Center. Right. Left surround. Right surround. The immersive
And that
audio
right
output
there
channel
is a proper 5.1 channel surround. You heard the LFE channel, very muffled, only coming out of the subwoofers. The surrounds, hopefully you could experience were behind us. Very nicely done. Okay, one last thing we don't typically do in these tests, but like I said, I do want to show you what Apple CarPlay and Android Auto look like, since we're not doing a full infotainment breakdown on this one. So I've already got wireless Android Auto paired up here, and you can see it takes up this kind of center top 3/5 of the screen or so. And it's actually a different format for Android Auto, which is kind of cool. So we're seeing our map on the top, and then weather and audio. But I believe if I were to bring up YouTube Music and get something playing on there, let's just shuffle from our downloads. All right, some Selena Gomez. We go back home. Oh, we still get the weather. Okay, I don't know why it's showing me weather instead of some sort of media control, but we got the media controls here, so I'm totally fine with that. And you've got navigation, which obviously you can bring up full screen. Well, mostly full screen, moving around, pinch and zoom. It's a nice way to do Android Auto, and of course to get back to your main Mercedes home screen system, you can just hit that home button at any point, and there you are. Now let's pair up an iPhone. Pretty straightforward to do. In order to do that, we're going to bring up our Bluetooth screen on the iPhone. I better mute the Selena Gomez. I just realized we're going to get copyright written up for that one. But we're in the media screen now to pair up our iPhone, or rather the Bluetooth screen on the iPhone. And on the car, we're going to go Home, Phone, Settings gear icon, Devices. Sorry, I'm going quickly here. Connect new device. And then, if I wait a moment, I should see the iPhone pop up on the screen. If I don't, oh, yep, there we go, Charlie's iPhone. We got a pairing request on the phone. I'm going to hit pair and allow. Use CarPlay. Start CarPlay. And now if we go, there we go. Comes up automatically. We got a more of a conventional split screen layout here for CarPlay. So map on the left, media on the right. We can scroll over and get our apps coming up in a 5x2 grid. Not the highest resolution for CarPlay, but let's bring up Google Maps. You can still see nice and responsive. Oh, we actually have, is that a burned out pixel? Was that there on Android Auto? We're going to have to go back. I think that's a burned out pixel on this screen. That's unfortunate. Okay. No pinch to zoom on iPhone. Let's bring up YouTube Music, see what we get from that one. Some Noga Ares. All right. And if we go back home, you can see what it looks like with media up there. That's so interesting. That's definitely a burned out pixel. Very unfortunate to see there. I don't think that was there earlier. I think I would have noticed. I'll have to check the footage. Either way, with all of that done, I think we're ready to head out on the road. powerful. That's what I asked for from this song. That's what this song wants to give us, and this Burmester system is delivering that. You can have the quiet, delicate, crispy high notes in there, and then it comes in with a power and a strength, and everything is right there, and oh, it sounds good. Really happy with it. Speaking of strength, for this next track, we'll turn the bass all the way up. We'll see how it sounds. Okay, so it's it's actually remarkably strong in my chest. I'm not getting a bunch of shakeage, but that probably just means everything is built well. And it's not this big rumbling bass that you might expect from a rear bass subwoofer, but it's a very precise and accurate bass, and I do like that about it. My thoughts on the 17-speaker Burmester 3D surround system here in the new CLE-class. Burmester is one of the last independently owned sound system manufacturers in the game, and they are so benefited by that because they have such an integrity and a crispness and a power to their sound. And I don't know if I've ever been disappointed by a Burmester sound system in any Mercedes-Benz product. I really also appreciate that Mercedes-Benz is giving you this sound system standard in this car. They recognize that they want to have a luxury experience in their cars, and they're giving that to you. So you're not going to get a base sound system that doesn't excel in the CLE class. Now, that being said, you have to pay a little bit more for Dolby Atmos support, and I think that's a bad move on Mercedes and Dolby's part, because I don't think Dolby Atmos is going to take off. It's too gimmicky. It's much like 5.1 surround, where most people with most music and most inputs aren't going to utilize it. So they should be, if they really want it to succeed, they should be trying to push it harder than making people pay extra. But all of that being said, I respect and appreciate that most of the sound profiles are not gimmicks here in this car. Everything works, it sounds good, it's satisfying, you can crank it up. I love it. It's an S-tier sound system. It's not the best I've ever heard. I mean, you can pay more and get more, but at less than $60,000 for the system, you're getting top-tier quality. So thank you so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the car, check the link below for our members-only test and our full review, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from DM Sound, and as always, drive on.